Well, good evening. Thank you, Janica, for hosting us, and thank all of you for coming out. You know, in 2 weeks from tonight, we'll all be scattered across eastern Oklahoma watching the returns come in. And out of 750,000 people that live in this district, sadly, just a fraction of that number will be voting 2 weeks from today. And I want you all to encourage your neighbors and your family and your friends to get out and vote 2 weeks from today. My name is Dustin Rowe. I live in Tishomingo, Oklahoma, a town of 3,200 people in southeastern Oklahoma. My wife and I, the last year, have driven over 40,000 miles campaigning across eastern Oklahoma, spreading what we believe to be the message that our country should go, that our federal government is limited by the Constitution of the United States. Our federal government was created to provide a national defense to protect our freedoms, yet in America today, ladies and gentlemen, our federal government borrowed $4.8 billion. Tonight, as American taxpayers, we owe $15.7 trillion. A trillion, as many of you have heard me say, if we spend $1 a second, 24 hours a day, it would take 32,000 years to spend just $1 trillion. At the end of this year, we'll owe $16 trillion. During the course of this campaign, our national debt has gone up $800 billion. I have quoted a scripture that I believe is so prominent for Americans today, and that is, where there is no vision, the people perish. And I would tell you all as American citizens that the direction this country is headed is not the vision we should have for our country. I would ask that you join with me 2 weeks from today. Let's send a conservative constitutional leader to Congress that will shrink the size and scope of our federal government. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity to talk with you all. I haven't been down here before. Just a little bit of background. My name is Dakota Wood. I'm from Claremore, Oklahoma, just northeast of Tulsa. Family's been in the area since 1978. And what you'll see in the theme of my remarks tonight, I don't know what the questions are, but I really want to get at the greatness of America. I mean, we're going to cover the ground on all the problems we've got. We all know that. We all know corruption. We all know debt. We know overspending. We all know regulation. I mean, we're all agreed on that. You're not going to find a bit of difference between the candidates on their stance on the 10th Amendment or the Second Amendment or pro-life, what have you. And so what it really comes down to then is experience and background commitment. In my 30 years of serving the country, 20 years of that as a U.S. Marine, I've been serving the country all over the world, over 30 countries. And I've worked at the national level of our government. I've seen it in all its glory and all its ugliness. And I'm telling you, one person, a very few people can get things done. I was responsible for getting a single program cut, just one example, $14 billion to enhance Times Oklahoma's state budget. I've dealt with the Office of the Vice President, National Security Council, federal law enforcement, national intelligence community. I've advised 2 secretaries of defense. So I've seen our country in all of its greatness. I've dealt with people from all walks of life, different ethnic backgrounds, religious backgrounds, skin colors, city kids, country kids. And we get all down in the mouth about the problems facing us, but I think what we lose sight of is when you compare the United States of America against any other country in the world, you tell me, is Ethiopia going to eat our lunch? I mean, do people emigrate to Yemen? Why is it that everybody is so envious, you know, and so hateful of the United States? It's because creativity, innovation, freedom, liberty, a representative republic, free market economy, all the things that the rest of the world wants is what we have. And it allows us to seize on the challenges like the great problems that are before us and solve those challenges like nobody's business. So I appreciate your time and look forward to the questions. Thank you.
My name is Markwayne Mullin, and I'm from Westville, Oklahoma. My beautiful wife, Christy, who will be celebrating our 15th anniversary Thursday, which, babe, I apologize, we're supposed to go to Fiji for our 15th anniversary, instead we're hitting the campaign trail. My 3 kids are here, Jim and Andrew and Larry, and it's an honor to just have them with me tonight. It's the most humbling experience I have been through in the last year. You know, 15 years ago, my wife and I got married. The only thing we were doing was trusting in the Lord. And we were able to take a plumbing business that was a family plumbing business that had 6 employees and over $500,000 of debt and 250 of it immediately past due. And we were blessed to be able to pay the debt off in 3.5 years. And today that same company has grown into 6 other companies. And And we've been able to not just have 6 employees, but now we have well over 120 employees. And I feel blessed. But the problem is that I'm also fed up. I'm fed up at our career politicians that continue to play games. And it doesn't make any difference if you're Republican or Democrat. We live in America. Are we going to get the country back on track, or are we going to keep sitting there saying that it's the other person's fault? You know, in business we can't operate that way. And what I'm saying to you guys is I'm willing to go up there and fight. I'm willing to go up there and work with both sides, but I can't do it without your help. I'll give you more than just a yard sign. I'll give you a guarantee that nobody will outwork me, and I won't compromise who I am, and I'll be working with both sides to try to get things done. Thank you for your time.
Hello, my name is Dwayne Thompson. Thanks for having us, Janika and Republicans here, and Okmulgee, thank you for doing this for us. We appreciate the opportunity. Well, if you've heard me before, you know I like to generally start with a quote. I'm going to start with Samuel Adams tonight. Samuel was the signer of the Declaration of Independence, also on the Continental Congress. And what he said was, he said, neither the Constitution, or neither the wisest Constitution nor the wisest laws will secure the liberty and happiness of a people that have gone morally corrupt. And I find that interesting that if you've heard me speak before, you know that I continue to talk about this because we keep not talking about the white elephant. The white elephant in D.C. is the problem of immorality. And I always have to bring that up because that is, I believe with all my heart, the root problem. And I believe that as long as we continue to brush that underneath the carpet, we're going to continue to have the issues we have. If you'll think with me over the past 35 years, that's as long as I can remember. If some of you can remember longer, I'm sure it'll probably carry on through. But if you'll think over the last 35 years, think of how many issues we're still dealing with, the same issues today. The same issues, they continue to kick the can down the road. Why is it that we continue to address these same cans and they never get solved? Because when you don't solve the issues, folks, it continues to benefit that particular party or that particular special interest, or it helps someone in re-election. Have you noticed that in election years, no major legislation ever gets accomplished? Why is that? Why is that? I want us, one of the main things about my campaign is this, I want us to rethink how we elect people. It's not a matter of having 6 good men. There are 6 good men. Okay, 5. But at least I know you got 5. But here's the thing. Until we start addressing the root problem, even these good men, they can't solve the issues because we're up against a system and a machine that puts everything before we the people. Thank you.
First of all, I have to apologize for my allergies. I'll cough my way through this, but I don't know if anyone wants to know what I look like in a beard, but go to my Facebook and let's thunder up tonight, okay? We're all Oklahomans. Get it on Facebook, you'll see a beard on George Faught. But, you know, many of you know me. I'm from Muskogee, the Okie from Muskogee, proud of that fact. I've had a carpet cleaning business there for almost 25 years. My wife, Becky, is over here. My middle son, Jameson's in the back. The other 2 kids are working the campaign right now, but we've been invested in this district. We're going to be married 30 years. We've spent our anniversaries and our birthdays on the campaign trail, but it's what it takes to reach out and meet people. And I've also had the privilege of serving for the last 6 years as state representative out of Muskogee. I was the first Republican elected in that state house seat. Since statehood, it was 72% registered Democrat, which happens to be about what the 2nd district is. So someone's got to be able to prove that they can win in the 2nd district. You know, today marks the 25th anniversary of President Reagan whenever he told Gorbachev to tear down that wall. We've got another wall right now that is hurting us as Americans, and it's a debt wall. And while we're going to talk about solutions tonight, I think it's time for we, the people, to tell Congress and the President, tear down the debt of this country so we can live free and let us live off the fruits of our labors and not let government take it. So let's get involved. I appreciate you all getting behind the candidates here. Let's make sure this seat goes all red this year in Oklahoma. Amen.
I'm Wayne Pettigrew, and I'm the one guy that actually gave up 2 lower-level seats tonight to be with you. And don't think I'm insane, and that means you won't vote for me. But I did get rid of those, but I sold them for enough, because I'm a good businessman, to pay for my entire season tickets next year. So that should let you know I have a little bit of economic background. I was born and raised in McAllister. I think of all of us running, I was the only one actually that was born in the district. You don't have to be born in the district. But I'm a businessman. I went into business, actually we talked about this last night, but 28 years ago yesterday was my anniversary going into business. Started my first company when I was 19. Now I have 2 insurance-related companies. One is a small domestic insurance brokerage. The other one is a domestic life insurance company. We took that company public in 2004, and it is today it's the 2nd largest domestic life insurance company in the state of Oklahoma. I also served in our state legislature. I served in our state legislature for 10 years. I had a 100% pro-life, 100% pro-gun, a 98% pro-business voting record. I was pretty lucky. I was one of the first groups, actually the first group elected after term limits passed. So the day I walked in the state legislature, I knew I couldn't stay. And for me, that was a blessing because I knew I was there to fix things and go home and live under the laws that you passed. And that's exactly what I did. I passed major reforms on welfare, car tag reforms, victims' rights, nursing home reform, pension reform. I was a worker bee when I was at the state legislature, and that's why I want to go to Congress. Because my difference, and what makes me different than most of these other candidates, is I have a business background, I have a legislative background, and I have a financial background. And about 90% of what we need to deal with in this country right now, particularly with what's facing us in the next 5 years, is our debt and our fiscal crisis that's coming at us at light speed. So I'm going to talk about that more tonight, but I certainly look forward to your questions, and thank you again for inviting us. Thank you.